usually have music in the background of my videos, but today I decided not to. I just really enjoy listening. I found this essentials playlist on Apple. It's Piano Guys, and they have like the best the best playlist. So I really love having that in the background of my videos. But today I decided I wouldn't do that because I wanted to talk about something that I really just want you to hear. I mean, I always want you to hear me, but this time I was like, let me cut off the music, and I want us to talk about this feeling of being like a small fish in a big pond, right? And that really comes from the question that I get all the time. There's so many other wedding planners. I just feel like, what's the point, or how am I going to stand out, or would people even want my services because there's so many other people that do this? And it's a legitimate question. Like, I'm not even going to sit here and say that that's a silly question, because it is something it's a concern. A lot of times when you're starting out something, you feel like, is there a point? Like, there's so many other people doing it. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. If you don't know me, my name is Shile Bello, and I have been a wedding planner for over 12 years. I'm the founder of REE Affairs, and I've grown my business from nothing to something over the last couple of years. And I've been able to also start a platform where I teach wedding planning, and I offer courses teaching people on how to become wedding planners. So today we're going to be focusing on the question of, there are other people that are doing this. Is there a point? How do I stand out as a wedding planner, as someone who's new? So the first thing that I always like to say when people ask me this question is I throw that question back to them sometimes. I'm like, what do you think you bring to the table? Because, I love to give this analogy about, I love food. I love to eat. So food is a lot of my analogy sometimes comes from that. But there are so many fast food restaurants, right, that are out there. And so what makes a person decide that they're going to open another fast food joint, even when there's a whole bunch of other ones? I was driving down the other night. I saw there was all these like new burger joints. There's like a smash burger and a elevation burger and all of these joints. And I always ask myself, I'm like, it takes audacity, right, to start something in an industry where there's already so many of it. So in this case, there's so many burger joints. Why does someone decide they want to start? And it's because they have an angle. It's because they decide that, I feel like I bring something different to the table. I feel like I have something to offer, and I have a type of client that would want what I offer. One example I can give is And Pizza. It's a pizza company in the DC, Maryland area that has just like been, opening spots everywhere. But there's been Papa John's and Pizza Hut and so many other pizza places. So what makes a person decide, I want to bring something out? Like, the only time I eat pizza now is when I'm having And Pizza, because all of a sudden these people came out with something, and I wasn't a pizza person, but I've all of a sudden become a customer. And so I love to give those examples to highlight to you that, yes, there are a lot of people that might do something, or that might already be in this industry. In this case, we're talking about wedding planning, but there is something you bring to the table. And the reason I throw back that question to you and I say, what do you bring to the table, is because you have to be able to be confident in what you're bringing to the table. You have to be able to be confident in the fact that, yes, there might be 10 other wedding planners, 20, 100 in my city, but I bring something unique. And also remind yourself, like, I have a client that wants my services. Like, they might not know me yet, but I do have a client that wants my services. I mean, like I said, I never had pizza. I didn't eat pizza much, but now that there's And Pizza, I'm that client that wants that particular service, until sometimes, there might be a ton of other people, but there's nobody like you. Wedding planning is a service business. And so a lot of times people are making that investment, not just in your ability to say, I can plan, or I can bustle your dress and all of that, but it's also in you. They're deciding, of all the people I have spoken to, I am drawn to this person. I want to work with this person. I want this person to work for me. And so if you think of nothing else, there's no other you out there. Like, there's no other person that has your ability to plan, the way that you plan, the way that you serve your clients and care for them, and the way you do what you do, there's no other person that has that combination. And so there are other people that, yes, will bustle a dress. There are other people that, yes, will, find a venue and do all these things we have on a list. And in my course, I talk about the importance of realizing that, yes, they're making an investment in your service, but they're also a lot of times choosing to work with your company because of you. Even if you're a company that has, you want to build a company that has multiple planners, each time a person decides to work with any of your planners, there's still that investment in that person. There's something that they've seen about your business. And so I don't want you to be crippled by that idea. Right? Don't let yourself be crippled by the idea that, there are other people doing this, so I can't do it. Because I promise you, when you start out and you start to get clients, you'll be like, wow, like, yes, there might be 100 other people, but these people are still drawn to me because of what I bring to the table. So don't let that idea cripple you. If anything, let it drive you to be able to really identify your why, identify your niche and what you bring to the table, and let that be what you put at the forefront. And I promise you, people that are looking for that kind of service are going to be drawn to you. If you think about, I'm just going to throw out a random example, someone who wants to be focused on like maybe eco-friendly weddings. That's what they bring to the table. So a bride might talk to me, who's a planner, and might be like, oh yeah, she was great, but they end up going with that other planner because that planner focuses on what matters to them, right? And so don't be concerned about what everybody else is doing. Ask yourself deep down inside, what do I bring to the table? Like, why do I even want to start this business, right? Like, why do I want to be a wedding planner? And what are the things that I hope to see? What are the type of clients I hope to serve? What are the kind of things that I hope to bring to the table to help, add to this conversation of wedding planning and to make this easier for people who are trying to get married? And once you're able to identify those things, I promise you, those things will then eventually be things that will draw the right clients to yourself. So know your niche, identify who you want to serve, and just focus on that. Don't be distracted or blinded by like, oh, there's so many other people. It's a legit question. It's a legit feeling too. Sometimes when you feel like, okay, I'm starting, but is anyone going to hire me? I promise you, if you take the right steps when you're starting out, you will get hired by people. You will find the people who are your perfect clients, your ideal clients. And in the course, I talk about the importance of even identifying your ideal client, because again, with all of these companies, with And Pizza, again, I'm like an And Pizza ambassador. And Pizza, they have a branding, like they've branded themselves in a certain way. This idea of like, it's clean, it's more modern and more sleek. And so people who are drawn to that, right, are then patronizing and buying from their business more. And so to speak for you and your wedding planning business, having a clear sense of your ideal client, like And Pizza obviously knows the ideal client, and they've also obviously branded themselves in a way that attracts that ideal client. So you also need to go through those steps as I've outlined in the RAE method course to be able to help you identify that from the start. And if you have your ideal client, you're not worried about what everybody else is attracting. You're focused on you attracting your ideal clients. And so I just hope this encourages you today. And I hope that you don't get paralyzed by that feeling of there's so many other people and feeling like you're a small fish in a big pond, because there is so much room, right? There's so much room for everyone to thrive. I posted something years ago on Instagram. I said, birds don't collide when they fly. Like, they just fly, right? Like, the sky is big enough. So yes, there might be a million other birds, but they don't collide. They just fly. They just believe there's enough room for all of us to grow. And I believe that for you too in your business, that yes, there might be other people in your industry, but there is enough room to grow. So don't decide not to become a wedding planner because you think there's so many people, because sometimes like we see only what we see, and you're limited by your perspective and vision of what you can see in front of you. But there's so many other people out there, millions of people that are looking for a wedding planner to hire. And I promise you that if you take this step, if you go ahead and take the RE method course and educate yourself and start off right, that you will attract the kind of clients that you're looking for. All right, so I hope this has been helpful, and just overcome those words and that put fear in you and that make you not want to take that move and take that step. Just overcome them by reminding yourself that there's room for everyone to grow, and that you have a client. You have something you bring to the table that will attract the right client to you. All right, have a good one, and I'll see you in another video.